If you studied scripture for any amount of time, especially if you try to learn the story and life of Jesus, then you run into something called genealogies. And usually most people skip them. But today we want to talk about why they are in the scripture and why it matters. Coming up. What's up, everyone? I'm Reynaldo Ramos with VineMedia, and we make weekly videos just like this to help people get connected to the vine that is Jesus. Today, we want to talk about genealogies. Why does it matter? Why is it in Scripture? Most people, when they come to genealogies, they just skip it. I mean, we can be honest, right? You just skip through it. A bunch of names. Somebody begat somebody. Somebody was the son of somebody. Somebody was somebody's cousin's brother's uncle. Lots of family things going on. And we just skip them. The most famous ones are in the Gospels, right? And where the Gospel writers are presenting the life of Jesus and the story of Jesus, and a couple of them start with genealogies. But that's not the only place in the Bible that we see genealogies. We see them throughout the Old Testament in Genesis and Chronicles, and throughout some of the prophets as well. And the question is, why are they in there if we're just going to skip them over? If really, I mean, does it really matter? Like all of those list of names, I mean, is it that important? And here's the thing that I would say. It is important, and it kind of does matter. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, the genealogies gives scripture some historical references, okay? As you look at genealogies and you look at families and nations, as you try to go through, it does give some historical reference. Now, the Bible itself is not a history book in the sense that it's not trying to read as a history book, and it's not trying to present historical evidences. Instead, it's a narrative of God interacting with his people, and then broken down into 66 different books, and obviously all of the different sections of scriptures and all that. But we're not going to get into that today in this video. But genealogies play some role in the historicity of scripture. The other things that it does is that, especially when it comes to Jesus, it gives us fulfillment of prophecy. Without the genealogies, we couldn't factually and historically look at where Jesus came from, the seed that he's from, and then point to prophecy. This way we can because of those genealogies. And the other thing is, and this is probably one of my favorite things about genealogies, and again, I know it could be a task to read them and they can come off a little bit boring, but my favorite thing about genealogies is it actually, and I think this is the biggest point, it actually points to the nature and character of God. And all scripture does. And I think we make a grave mistake when we don't realize that scripture is pointing to the nature and character of God. And this is what genealogies do. For example, if we take the genealogy of Jesus, we see that not everybody in his genealogy are great people or moral people or people that society would have prompted up, right? We have some misfits. We have some shady people in there. And I love this because it goes to show you that God calls who he calls, right? And our morality and who we are, that stuff really doesn't matter as long as we hear the voice of God and follow his voice. And so I think genealogies actually can point to the nature and character of God. And so, yes, I know it's a bunch of names. Yes, I know it could be tedious, but genealogies are important and they are there for a reason. And so I encourage you, don't just skip over them next time. Check them out, see what they're all about. I hope this is a blessing to you as you stay connected to the vine and try to draw yourself closer to Jesus. And as scripture says, he will draw himself closer to you. I hope you guys have a great day. We will see you next time.